Hello, Bonfire coaches, and welcome to our series of pre-videos before we get together for our official training. And I want to start by really congratulating you for leaning into, maybe it's a place where you're unsure about yourself, going from one profession into coaching. Maybe you've already been a coach and you just know you want to up your skill level and create a level of abundance through the coaching profession. And maybe you're the leader that says, I want to take all these wonderful tools that I get exposed to and get trained in through Bonfire, and I want to take those into the workforce. I want to build amazing teams. And who knows, in the future, you can be a facilitator of the work in corporations or companies. Whatever's brought you here, I congratulate you for listening to that voice, abiding by it, and moving toward it. So the first thing I want us to do before we get together in our official deep dive into the training is start to think about, who are you going to be serving? Now, as a coach long time ago, new in my profession, I remember thinking coaching, well, it's going to help everybody. So I'm just going to be available for whoever comes to the doors, who wants to talk to me, who wants to increase themselves in their lives. And that's the type of coaching I'm going to do. And it felt big, because it was. So what I've learned over the many years is when we can narrow down, especially our start, our launch, and aim at a specific avatar client, that ideal niche of an avatar client that literally is only ever 2 to 3 steps behind you. You're only a little bit ahead of them in your life, what you've come through, what you've gained as far as knowledge and experience, what you remember how it was and how it felt to be stuck and in those places of not knowing, so you can relate to them. We're only just a short distance away from those ideal clients. And when we define our avatar client, it makes all of our aims, our messaging, our who do I get to talk to, who can I help most, it makes that so much more efficient, easy, and energized. So I want us to dive into a worksheet that is available to you either through this email, definitely in our coaches resources folder, and possibly you've received this through our Facebook group. So I'm going to share my screen and take you through what we call the avatar exercise. Then I'm also going to share my definition of my avatar client as an example. And I'm going to invite you to watch a video that I recorded a long time ago on defining clarity so that we can build rapport with our avatar clients and also understand where to aim our marketing and our time and attention, right? So an avatar client, hopefully you realize how critical this is. It's going to make your life as a coach so much easier and really rewarding, because you're going to know exactly who you serve. So the first thing we want to know is your life. So you want to inventory, what have you come through? And I think we start that. Yeah, we start with your story. Your story. You can go back as far as you love. Sometimes our family of origin and the dynamics that our family had connect with our avatar clients. Sometimes the education we've received and the skill sets that we own connect with our avatar client. Sometimes the nature of going through a certain challenge connects with your avatar client. So use this guide to help you just inventory your own life. What have I achieved? What have I come through? What have I overcome? Who am I? Who do I know myself to be? So let's look at the first question. Start with your own story. What have you overcome? What challenges, setbacks have you broken through and overcome? And like I said, you may go the entire lineage of your memorable life, or you can just take it as a career overcoming or a relationship overcoming, a spiritual overcoming. Maybe it's a financial overcoming. So if you want to narrow down in certain areas, you can. Maybe it's physical and health overcoming, right? However, I'd also give you invitation to just look at those different segments of your life and say, okay, I've overcome this here in this segment. I've overcome this here in this area of my life. How have you grown in the past 5 years? So you're here because you know you're on a growth path. You wouldn't be here if you weren't. So let's look back on those 5 years and where have you grown? What do you now know? What did you endeavor into? Certifications, book learning, podcasts, adventures in travel, opening yourself up to new circles. So how have you grown? And what is very important to you? Your core values will resonate with the core values of your optimum avatar client. So dig deep. What are core values? In fact, I'll find a core values list and I'll add it to our Facebook group. I'll add it to our coaches resources. It may already be there, and I'll definitely add it to this email if this is how it got to you, right? And then what is your vision for your life, right? Like right now, what would you love? And look at the wheel of life. You've got your physical health, you've got your financial health, you've got your intimate relationships, social relationships, familial relationships. You've got career and or business. You've got your mental and emotional states. You've got your spirituality and your knowing of your growth, and you're connected to the other, the unseen, right? So what's your vision for your life? Where would you love to be in the next 3 to 5 years? Write it down. Once you have that and you've inventoried yourself, then let's dive into getting to know your avatar client. And I'm going to give you a quick way to do it, but this is the worksheet right now, right? So I like to name my avatar client, give him or her a name. You may come back to this once you've defined some things and that name may become more evident, apparent. Well, you may just have a name that you know you want to give this person. It's good to name it so that you can think, well, what would Sally say? What would Sally think? What would Sally want? Right? So name your avatar. And some people, I've seen some coaches give an entire full name. It's like a first, middle, and end. I'm like, wow, that's pretty specific. It's like, go ahead and Google and see if that person really exists. And wouldn't it be fun if it's all of what you've defined? Are they male or female? Age, education level, relationship status. And that could be complex, right? Other info that you know about this person. Now, again, if we reflect, there's parts of our life that are only 2 to 3 steps ahead of our avatar clients. So this may sound like, this is sounding like a previous version of me. And how do you reach this client? So this is interesting. This is good for marketing. How do you reach this client? Are they in networking groups? Are they business owners and attend entrepreneurial events? Are they, let's say you want to work and focus with attorneys? How do you approach attorneys or reach attorneys? Are they single moms? I have a friend who, she is a mom and she's quite spiritual and religious. And so she wrote a journal, and it's for the Blessed Mother Heart. And she wanted to reach moms that are God-centered, it's her words, God-centered, prayerful, and new to motherhood. So that's her avatar client. And so the age range for this person was 20 to 40, a new mom, and would believe in in my friend's religion, Christianity, be Christian. And so it narrowed down the focus. How do you reach these avatar clients? We must know how to reach them, or it's going to feel like it's so much work. And through our business acceleration system, you're going to learn it's not so much work when we get clear on the niche. Okay. So how are they reachable? And what problems does your avatar client face in their life now? Right now, what problems are they having? What challenges are they having? What are they trying to overcome and failed, run into their own brick walls? And what do they struggle with? Let's take health. if it's a health coaching relationship, are they struggling with weight? Are they struggling with sleep? Are they struggling? Maybe they're postmenopausal and they're struggling with hot flashes or insomnia or the ability, it can't focus. If they're men that are, at this point in their career that they want to be at an elevated title, but they still see themselves being an individual contributor, what problems do they face there? What stories do they tell? What do they worry about? So get yourself into the struggle bus with your avatar client and describe that. What do they long for? So what would they love? So here's the challenges. And what would be the ideal life? What would they love? Paint the two ends of the spectrum. Problem set, solution set. What would they love? And allow your imagination to play here. Because again, this is more than likely a version of you. So what did you love? And in this case, what does your avatar client love? What would they absolutely love their life to be like? And what will their lives be like when they get to work with you as their coach? So you're marrying not only the first part of the worksheet, which is your life and solutions and challenges, and here we are at the cusp of the Bonfire certification for core coaches. You're going to have all these tool sets. You're going to have these methodologies and these strategies and these way of being. You're going to have language so that you can help evoke out of your client this connection. We don't want to let go of the fuel of the pain, because pain becomes something that is going to become purpose, right? For our client, we want to get that curiosity in there. Yep, sounds painful. Let's do something about it, right? And they have to have a picture of where they're headed, what they'd love, or the pain just becomes, I can tolerate it. Obviously, I've tolerated it. I've sold already. I don't really need to change it. The only reason we change is because the future is more compelling to us than staying in the pain right now. And it's more painful to stay in this pain than to reach for something and go for it. So what would it be like to work with you as a coach? This also becomes part of your marketing. All of this is part of your messaging and part of your marketing. You're going to tell the story of hey, are you facing this, this, and this? How long have you been facing it? Has it cost you this, this, and this? I understand. I was there too one day, not too long ago. And I remember I would have loved to have this, this, and this in my life. And once I could find the solution, the strategy, methodology, and the way of getting there, then life would be this. I understand your story. And so what would it be like to work with me as your coach? We're going to not only inventory where you are, we're going to start to tell the truth and find the possibilities and where things can go in a systematic way so that you can make these changes. And you and I, we're going to celebrate those together. You're going to have somebody joined at the hip with you, not only in the, how do you think this is possible, but in the true belief of absolutely, let's make it happen. And whenever you reach those goals, we are going to celebrate because you deserve the life you'd love. That's why you want me as your coach. So you're going to be able to use this as marketing in your webpage and your social media, all those very things, right? So here's your worksheet. Now I'm going to take you to mine and I'm going to give you a cheat sheet. It's a prompt. Have you heard of this thing? Maybe you have. It's called ChatGPT. Well, in ChatGPT, you can drop in a prompt, drop in all the data you just put on your worksheet. Just drop it in. Say, hey, I am wanting to build out my premier ideal avatar client. I'm going to be a budding new coach, and I want to help these people. This is what I've been through. I think I want to focus on this, this, and this. But if you could help me, go ahead and tell me who would be my avatar client. Give me some more details. So this is a prompt that you're going to get access to. I'm sending it to you. It's also in your coach's resources. And this is what I said. I wanted to find my premium avatar client who I can help absolutely create a life of wealth, love, vibrant health, and connection as they inventory their own beliefs, what's been in the way, and alchemize it all into fuel. I want to help them with daily progress, soulful connection, and magical outcomes that they have only tried and failed at realizing for themselves in the past. Help me define who this ideal avatar client is, their age range, location, desires, struggles, wants, and goals. So I prompted Chad. This is what it told me. So I get to name it, right? I haven't named her yet. The empowered seeker or the soul-led high achiever. I'm going to actually ask chat to give me 10 additional potential aims, titles, given this. I'm going to have it give me more, right? Because neither one of these feel like it just yet. Age range, 38 to 55, gender predominantly female, but open to men who resonate. That's true for me. Location, United States, especially metropolitan and growth-oriented cities. Houston, it knows I'm there. Austin, Atlanta, and Los Angeles, Chicago, and New York. I believe it did this because it knows that I love working with career professionals and people that want to gather a community and have connection and have a lifestyle of wealth. Open to global clientele in English-speaking regions. This is true. Income level, mid six figures or above, or transitioning from high income potential with an urgency to get unstuck. So potentially this person is moving out of a career, wanting to launch their own practice. Coaching practice, in this case, more than likely is what I would focus on. Willing to invest significantly in personal transformation, 10,000 plus per program, and is a yes, if it feels aligned, and that is true for me. That's a minimum for my coaching practice for someone to work. Psychographics. These are important. Solve for your marketing and your aim and making yourself simple. You want simplicity in your coaching practice. Trust me. A quantum leap in life. They too feel fully seen. So all this stuff, you could use each one of these as a prompt inside of chat and say, write me a blog post on my avatar client who is wanting to have a quantum leap in life and not just another course, but a real transformation. That could be a prompt that you use every single one of these as a prompt to build your social media content, your blog content. In this case, right before we go into the core coaching, I want you to get clear, really clear. Go in with clarity of who you're going to serve. And listen for the saboteur going, but what about this? And what about this? And what about this? We're aiming. I'm a chemist at heart. My first degree is in chemistry. And I remember being in the lab and wanting to produce an outcome. So Miss Arsenault, my chemistry teacher, would say you need to produce this chemical in this form. So sometimes chemicals can be in liquid form or powder form or solid form. Gaseous, not so easy to contain form. And so she would say, this is what you need to produce. What raw materials, what raw base do you need to go in? And what's the chemical formula to create that outcome? So I would, in your case, the avatar client and their wants are your outcome. That's what you want to produce. Also, your lifestyle. The other side is, what do you want to produce for your lifestyle? Have a figure, a salary you're paying yourself, an amount of abundance that's coming in. Maybe it's, I'm going to be socking away $2,000 a month in savings and investments through this. Whatever it is, have some specifics. And then what will happen is that you're going to realize through this process, through this clarity, who you need to aim at. So whenever the mind says, but you could help all these different types of people, like the chemical reaction, we need to know what our outcome is and niche in. If I did not know the elemental table and I didn't know how they acted and all the, molarities of things and anyway, all the electrons, and I didn't know all that, then it would feel like it's overwhelming. So know where you're headed, and then you're just going to have a few inputs to get there. And clarity coming into this training is going to make it so much simpler for you. Clarity coming into this training. So do this exercise and come ready to talk about it Friday night. We're going to talk about all of our clarity Friday night together, which is a dinner. Location, I think I've determined it. Hopefully you guys all love Italian. Okay, so core values. These are true. I mean, like whenever chat did this, it knows me. Great job, chat. Current struggles. They've had some external success, but here's their current feeling, the not enoughness, unworthiness. Isn't it interesting? People can have all the makings and the markings of utter success on the outside. They still struggle on the inside. And whenever I can connect with that and have them know that they're not alone and they're not crazy and give them a solution for that, it makes all the outside that much more brilliant and beautiful and meaningful, right? And so chat built this for me, which I love, and I'm sending this to you. And I want you to also find your own prompt, and I want you to put it in the chat. Build your avatar client, read it, refine it, come ready to talk about it. Deal? Love you guys.